सेवया लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकीम् कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणं श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादिपश्चात्यदेष्टानि नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्से नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमस्ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो हरे कृष्णा। Sateshbu, can you share the screen? Which shloka are supposed to start? You finished 16th chapter, right? Yes. Vaibhav Prabhu is telling yes. Thank you. Hmm. So 17th chapter got to start. So I have with me the thing, but if I want, I cannot share on mobile because I not brought my laptop. So the 17th chapter is about faith. So what do you mean by faith? What is the understanding of faith? Who can tell? Many times Prabhupada speaks about faith, faith, faith. To do anything, we need faith. Our whole sessions in our youth camps, we started with faith, which is the name of the camp which we started with faith. Second camp after this device session. Can faith be reasonable? Is it not? Because if we want to do anything in our life, we need faith actually. Whether you want to enjoy sense gratification, we need faith. Whether you want to do pravritti marg, we need faith. Nivritti marg, we need faith. For anything, we need faith. To start any business, we need faith. So faith is required in all the fields of life. So the theme of this chapter is divisions of faith. Chapter 17. So in this we are going to see, because you have already seen in the 14th chapter about the three modes. Then you have seen about the perverted reflected tree, the desires, because material is like the inverted tree and the spiritual is the standing tree, and the lake is our desires. Based on the desire, that spiritual gets reflected in the material world, and we create another simulated world. This world we are staying is a simulation. It's about till the time we have desire to enjoy, we have to accept the body, this material world. The moment we get detached, and with the sword of detachment, we cut the root of this tree. What is that? Lording our mentality, and we develop service attitude by bhakti. Immediately, our existence in the material world, in the simulated world, is completed. So this 70 chapter speaks about how there's a faith in mode of goodness, there's a faith in mode of ignorance, there's faith in mode of passion. And Krishna is going to speak lot on modes: worship in three modes, faith in three modes, varnashrama in three modes. Krishna is going to speak of all these things in this chapter. So let's start with the first verse. Arjuna vacha ye shastra vidim mustrajya यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्वम् अहो रजस्तमः. I think the last 24th verse ended with the Tasma Shastra Pramanam Te कार्य व्यवस्थितो ज्ञात्वा शास्त्रविदान् uktam karma kartum harasi. That was the last verse. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulation of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So that was the last verse of the 16th chapter. The first verse begins with the same thing. Ye shastra vidimustrajya ijante shraddhayanvitaha tesham nishta tu ka Krishna satvam ahorjastamaha. So Krishna's link, Arjuna inquired. Arjuna is inquiring because he asked, Krishna spoke to Arjuna about the divine and demonic faith. First three verses spoke about divine, the remaining verses spoke about the demonic, Asuri Kritti. And for Asuras, people who are in mode of passion and ignorance. What is the meaning of Asuras? People who are in mode of passion and ignorance. Most of the people in this world, you and I, because till the time we have mode of passion and ignorance, we have Asuri Kritti. We want quick pleasure, we want quick things. So for them, what is mentioned? Rules and regulations as per the Vedas are mentioned. Many times devotees tend to tell, oh, Mahaprabhu's movement is so simple movement, Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavana, Audharya Bhava. Audhari, he is in the most merciful. You go and sleep in Mayapur Dham, sleeping is compared to obeisances. You go and walk, it's compared to the Ashwamedha Yajna. You go and just chant Nitai Gauranga, everything we get. Provided we don't become kapati. We don't come and do the same mistakes again after coming back. So, not to fall, so that we don't fall from the path of bhakti, we need varnashram. And why, especially poor and asuric, who mode of passion and ignorance is dominant, for them the varnashram is recommended that they stick to the rules and regulations and follow it very strictly so that at least they remain dharmic. And from that level, when we continue bhakti, the bhakti also becomes solidified. But we become strong in bhakti, and we come to the level of Dhradavrata. And then we come to that Shraddha Shabde Vishwasho, Shadruda Nishay, Krishna Bhakti Karle Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. So whatever Shastras say, we cannot neglect it. Shastras are telling something, it is favorable for bhakti, we should accept it. Shastras are telling something, if it is not favorable for bhakti, then we can not accept it. But we should accept Shastras, especially if we want to progress in the path of bhakti. So Arjuna inquired, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scriptures, but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or ignorance? So now Krishna spoke about divine, demonic. Krishna spoke at the end 21, 22, 23, 24 about Ye yashasatchim sajja vartate kama karatana samsiddhim apnoti samsiddhim paramagati. This life also, next life also. And then therefore he reinforced in 24 that one should stick to the scriptures. Now Arjuna has a question, follow-up question. What is that? What about those who are trying to worship without the basis of scriptures? Like Prabhupada told, books are the basis. So who are not following the Shastras, what is there? Their faith is in goodness, in passion or ignorance. Yes, someone can read? Yes, Prabhu, you can read Prabhu. Quickly. Please read someone. If Prabhu is not available, somebody else can. They just spoke, can you read?
Chapter,
yeah.
In the fourth chapter, 39 verse, it is said that a person faithful to a particular type of worship gradually becomes elevated to the stage of knowledge and attains the highest perfectional stage of peace and prosperity. In chapter, it is concluded that one who does not follow the principles laid down in the scripture is called an asura, demon, and one who follows the scriptural injunctions faithfully is called a deva or a demigod. Now, if one with faith follows some rules which are not mentioned in the scriptural injunctions, what is his position? His doubt of Arjuna is to be cleared by Krishna. Are those who create some sort of god by selecting a human being and placing their faith in him, worshipping in goodness, worshipping him, worshipping in this person or this person attains the perfection stage of life. Life is it possible for them to be situated in real knowledge and elevate themselves to the highest perfection stage? To those who do not follow the rules and regulations of the scripture, but who have faith in someone and worship gods and demigods and men attain success in their efforts. Arjuna is putting this question to
Arjuna is putting these questions to Krishna. So basically, if the scripture is not a basis, like many times people make a temple of a hero, temple of a heroine, temple of a politician, temple of one's own guru. So what will happen to such people? That is being questioned by Arjuna here. Will they go back to Godhead? Is it in passion? Is it in ignorance? Is it in goodness? Will they go to higher planetary system? So Arjuna asks this question in the one. So now reply will Bhagavan Lord Shri Krishna will reply in the second verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Trivida Bhavati Shraddha Dehi Nam Sarasvabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shunum. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature required by the embodied soul, the time of birth, that is decided by the time of death, and whole last life what one has done. One's faith can be of three kinds: in goodness, in passion, or ignorance. Now hear about this. Yes. Next, someone can read.
Those who know the rules and regulations of the scriptures, but out of laziness or indolence give up following these rules and regulations, are governed by the mode of material nature. According to their previous activities in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance, they acquire a nature which is of a specific quality. The association of the living entity with the different modes of nature has been going on perpetually. Since the living entity is in contact with material nature, he acquires different types of mentality according to his association with the material modes. But this nature can be changed if one associates with the bona fide spiritual master and abides by his rules and the scriptures. Gradually, one can change his position from ignorance to goodness or from passion to goodness. The conclusion is that blind faith in a particular mode of nature cannot help a person become elevated to the perfectional stage. One has to consider things carefully, with intelligence, in the association of bona fide spiritual master. Thus, one can change his position to higher mode of nature.
So basically, if someone imagines, basically when we tend to neglect the rules and regulations of scriptures, when we are lazy, when we have our own uh, thought process, when we are attached to our own uh, likings, that is the time. And what kind of then, according to one's nature, previous based on previous activities in previous life and the birth in this life, one is forced to act by the moods. What is the solution? The river, if you don't put a dam, it will flood. Solution for this is Gurukula. One has to go to Guru, be trained under Guru. Under the training of a Guru, one can rise above the modes. So Guru will see and then tell, okay, this person is in this particular mode, now he should do this, he should not do this. That is a training given in the Varnashram. Or if you are in the Bhakti process, we are come to Bhakti, so it's very important that we accept a superior. Whoever is your whoever we are taking guidance from Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. We need to be attached to his Vani. Diksha Guru may be accessible, may not be accessible. Best if Diksha Guru is very accessible. If not, somebody is very pakka disciple of the Shiksha Guru and following strictly. Such Shiksha Guru's guidance you have to take and be under, we should be accountable to it. We should not lose our intelligence. We should not do blindly. Prabhupada is saying again here very clearly. This is one of the but this nature. Prabhupada is saying here na, the conclusion is that blind faith is a particular mode of nature cannot help a person become elevated to perfection stage. So even after coming to Krishna consciousness, when we are in touch with directly when we are not in touch with the Diksha Guru, and when we have Shiksha Guru, we should also understand Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. In case of Bali Maharaj and Shukracharya. Again, he was like a guru, but he was a guru for taking guide his progeny and taking guide his kingdom. Then there is Shastra. What Shastras tell? What Guru is telling? Guru, Sadhu, what Sadhus are telling. So all they should come in picture. So when we have Diksha Guru, who are strictly following this Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, Diksha Guru, then we should have no doubt regarding following them. The only issue will come regarding following ways or modes, because we have some likings, we have some upbringing, we are in a particular mode. When discipline comes, it's heavy, it's not easy. Purification happens, it's not so easy. It's not so easy to accept it. But if you can understand, this is for my purification, this is best for me. If we can get that faith, Yasya deve para bhakti tata devi tata guru tasyaiti katitarthi prakashanti mahatma. This is secret for success. Firm faith and determination in the words of the Guru and Shastras. Then one can achieve. One has to consider things carefully with influence in the session of bona fide spiritual master. Thus, one can change his position to a higher mode of nature. So, obedience to Guru, Siksha Guru or Diksha Guru. By that, we can elevate our modes. If we are in a comfort zone, it will take lifetimes for us to come from passion, ignorance to goodness. The purification is never easy. It's always intense. Hmm? So therefore, Guru Padashray. So, and that is not going to be easy. Tapa will come. The heat will come. Sattvanurupo sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata. Shraddha mayoyam purusho ye yat shraddha sayevasa. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. So now Krishna is telling about those people who are not fortunate to come to Bhakti under guidance of Guru, or who are not in Varnashram and not trying to follow Gurukul system where they can be trained under a Gurukul, where one, according to one modes, one will be trained as Kshatriya, Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra. It is about those people who are just whimsical, who are just attached to their modes, and according to them, they want to create some temple, they want to build some worship, something. Krishna is speaking about that. The living being is said to be a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. So, according to one's modes are so powerful, it's like a railway track. Once you put a railway track, the train will not go here and there unless somebody derails it, somebody removes the rod from it. Similarly, the birth gunas are so strong, even if you burn with fire the body, the modes are not going to be burnt. One has to do tapasya, one has to be trained, one has to really work on it, one has to accept one's position and understand the precarious condition of the living in the material world. One has to take shelter. The shelter should not be blind shelter, a thoughtful, it should be independently thoughtful. Someone can read this shloka, read this translation, everyone has a particular type of faith. Purport. Someone please quickly.
Everyone has a particular type of faith, regardless of what he is. But his faith is considered good, passionate, or ignorant according to the nature he has acquired. Thus, according to his particular type of faith, one associates with certain persons. Now, the real fact is that every living being, as is stated in the 15th chapter, is originally a fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, one is originally transcendental to all the modes of material nature. But when one forgets the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and comes into contact with the material nature in the conditional life, he generates his own position by associating with different varieties of material nature. The resultant artificial faith and existence are only material. Although one may be conducted by some impression or some conception of life, originally he is nirgun or transcendental. Therefore, one has to become cleansed of material contamination that he has acquired in order to regain his relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is the only path back without fear, Krishna consciousness. If one is situated in Krishna consciousness, then that path is guaranteed for his elevation to the perfectional stage. If one does not take to this path of self-realization, then he is surely to be conducted by influence of the modes of nature. The word Shraddha or faith is very significant in this verse. Shraddha or faith originally comes out of the mode of goodness. One's faith may be in a demigod or some created god or some mental concoction. One's strong faith is supposed to be productive of works of material goodness. But in material condition, no works are completely purified, they are mixed. They are not in pure goodness. Pure goodness is transcendental. In purified goodness, one can understand the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As long as one's faith is not completely in purified goodness, the faith is subject to contamination by any of the modes of material nature. The contaminated modes of the material nature expand to the heart. Therefore, according to the position of the heart in contact with a particular mode of material nature, one's faith is established. It should be understood that if one's heart is in the mode of goodness, his faith is also in the mode of goodness. If his heart is in the mode of passion, his faith is also in the mode of passion. And if his heart is in the mode of darkness, illusion, his faith is also thus contaminated. Thus, we find different types of faith in this world, and there different types of religions due to different types of faith. The real principle of religious faith is situated in the mode of pure goodness, but because the heart is tainted, we find different types of religious principles. Thus, according to different types of faith, there are different kinds of worship.
Hmm. So now Prabhupada writes about this faith, aspect of faith. The aspect of this faith, Shraddha, in something sublime, faith in something sublime, is called Dhradavrata. That is pure bhakti. But this principle of faith, it's like if you want to produce electricity, we can produce electricity either to radioactive elements, thermal power station, or hydroelectric power station. Either through coal, either to thermal, or through radioactive elements, or through water. So the source of hydroelectric power station, like dam, if you put a water and put a dam, the electricity, the production of the electricity is through that water. But when the electricity is produced based on the different bulbs, a bulb can have a green bulb layer, a bulb can have a red layer, a bulb can have a purple layer. Based on that, different colors are produced. Similarly, like the electricity production of electricity is simple, one thing that is produced to water. But the reflection of the electricity can come to red, blue, yellow. Similarly, the root cause of faith is coming from the goodness. That doesn't mean that faith, somebody is in a tamoguna, his faith is in goodness. No. Now, because the heart of the person, because he's in tamoguna, means the riddhi is in tamoguna, that faith which he has becomes tended to tamoguna. A person passion, because his karmana daiva nitrena is in rajoguna, it's coming from the passion. The faith he will carry is of passion. But the origin of faith is that is goodness. But the Rajoguna person, when he comes in touch with, that becomes changed with Rajoguna. Faith becomes Rajoguna. And in mode of pure goodness, when follows Shastras, Varnashram, that comes to goodness. He follows rules and regulations, scriptures, very powerful. That is goodness, faith in goodness. But even that is because once in goodness you also come, that is also 3 modes. But thing is, there is no question of breaking of 4 principles, no meditating, no sex, no intoxication, no gambling. That is varnashram. That is goodness. But passion and ignorance are involved. That is the meaning of modes. Somebody is Kshatriya, somebody is a Vaishya, somebody is a Brahmana, somebody is a Shudra. But still, they follow very clearly. According to Vishnu Puran, Parahimsa, Parastri, Paradravya. They don't exploit. That is the character. So goodness, therefore one is in goodness, one can follow elements strictly. And above this is pure goodness, where Prabhupada speaks about the faith. Shraddha Shabde Vishwasho, Shudridra Nishtay, Krishna Bhakti Karle, Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. This is in pure goodness. So somebody has come to that Dradavata Bhakti, then he is in Shuddha Bhakti. That is from there he will not shake. That is the level of Madhyamadhikari. So this is being spoken here. So this is about the faith, what is being spoken here. So here, if one is in the first end of first paragraph, Prabhupada writes, if one is in last 2 lines, if one is situated in Krishna consciousness, then that path is guaranteed for his elevation to the perfection. This is called as Shuddha faith, which is in Shuddha Bhakti, Dhradavarta Bhakti. If one does not take to this path of self-realization, then he is surely to be connected by the empressism. That is like goodness, passion, ignorance. He'll go to heavenly planets. He will be born here, or he will be taking birth in the lower species. So the Shraddha is very significant. Shraddha's faith only comes out of the mode of goodness. This is what I explained already. So the real principle, the last line, the last 2 lines. The real principle of religious faith is situated in the mode of pure goodness. That is like Dharmo to Shakshat Bhagavat Pranita. That is the pure religious principle. Krishna is everything. But because the heart is tinted, we find different types of religious principles. Different is like a big umbrella. We see in device, why God is one of 5 so many religion. We see that it's like supermarket. Sadhamala supermarket. So according to the different needs of the people, when they go to supermarket, they get different varieties of food. Somebody wants bun, somebody wants sandwich, somebody wants this, somebody wants that. So according to the desire, one has there are different sanctions in Puranas and Vedas for the particular living entity according to the modes. Thus, according to different types of faith, there are different kinds of worship. Fourth, Yajante satvika devan yaksharakshamshi rajasaha pretan bhutaganamschanye yajante tamasa jana. So three, faith in three modes. Person goodness what he worships, person passion what he worships, person ignorance what he worships. Men in the mode of goodness worships the demigods. According to Shastra, according to the Puranas, it's called Upasana Kant. Those in mode of passion worship the demons. Yaksha, Raksha, Shamsi. In Sanskrit, speak of demons means Yaksha, Raksha. Because passion means you have seen people going to a tree and trying a thread, especially in Damodar Leela, in the courtyard of Krishna. When Nal Kuvar and Manigru were locked there, they were son of Kuvera, they are Yakshas. What they say, what they used to do for Brajavasis is whatever they will come and tie Mannat mangte they had some icha. They'll come and tie a thread, circumambulate it. And Nalakuvara and Manigri, what they used to do? They used to fulfill that particular material desire of the Brajvasis. They're simple-hearted Brajvasis. And because of that seva for the Brajvasis, Krishna gave them darshan. Like that, that is what I heard from Tirthanan was speaking when he had come to Pune. I not read it in the commentary, but yeah, this is what I heard from him. So basically, it might be true because they were yakshas. And yakshas, because they have strength, they have a capacity to fulfill the material desire of the living entity. Therefore, it's called passion. Worship of the demons, that is Yaksha and Rakshasas, Yaksha Rakshamsi, Rajasa, Pretan Bhutaganams. People, when they worship underground, Agori, all those things, that comes in ignorance when they worship the particular Bhuta worship, ghost worship. Someone can read this purport?
In this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead describes different kinds of worshippers according to their external activities. According to the scriptural injunction, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipable. Those who are not very conversant or faithful to the scriptural injunctions worship different objects according to their specific situations in the modes of material nature. Those who are situated in goodness generally worship the demigods. Demigods include Brahma, Shiva, and others such as Indra, Chandra, and the sun god. There are various demigods. Those in goodness worship a particular demigod for a particular purpose. Similarly, those who are in the mode of passion worship the demons. We recall that during the Second World War, a man in Calcutta worshipped Hitler because thanks to that war, he had amassed a large amount of wealth by dealing in the black market. Similarly, those in the modes of passion and ignorance generally select a powerful man to be God. They think that anyone can be worshipped as God and that the same results will be obtained. Now it is clearly described here that those who are in the mode of passion worship and create such gods, and those who are in the mode of ignorance and darkness worship dead spirits. Sometimes people worship at the tomb of some dead man. Sexual service is also considered to be in the mode of darkness. Similarly, in remote villages in India, there are worshippers of ghosts. We have seen that in India, the lower class people sometimes go to the forest, and if they have knowledge that a ghost lives in a tree, they worship that tree and offer sacrifices. These different kinds of worship are not actually God worship. God worship is for persons who are transcendentally situated in pure goodness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 4.3.23, it is said, Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva
Shaktitam.
When a man is situated in pure goodness, he worships Vasudeva. The purport is that those who are completely purified of the material modes of nature and who are transcendently situated can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonalists are supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness, and they worship 5 kinds of demigods. They worship the impersonal Vishnu form in the material world, which is known as philosophized Vishnu. Vishnu is the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the impersonalists, because they do not ultimately believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, imagine that the Vishnu form is just another aspect of the impersonal Brahman. Similarly, they imagine that Lord Brahma is the impersonal form in the material mode of passion. Thus, they sometimes describe 5 kinds of gods that are worshipable, but because they think that the actual truth is impersonal, Brahman, they dispose of all worshipable objects at the ultimate end. In conclusion, the different qualities of the material modes of nature can be purified through association with persons who are of transcendental nature.
So therefore, Prabhupada is giving example of Hitler, man making amassing, or the impersonalists who are worshipping the Panchopasana, with the philosophized Vishnu. Prabhupada is telling that, that kind of Vishnu worship impersonalists. Prabhupada is quoting fourth kind of Bhagavatam, where Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Satyam, where Prajapati, Daksha Prajapati is coming and Brahma is sitting because his father he cannot get up to greet him. And Shiva is also in trance and doesn't get up. And that time this verse comes. Daksha Prajapati is an in-law, father-in-law of Lord Shiva. As a son-in-law, he should get up, but he's not getting up. So when the question comes in Bhagavatam, why Krishna Shiva did not get up? Why Shiva is so proud? Oh, don't think Shiva is proud. But Shiva is absorbed. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. He's always absorbed in Lord Vasudeva. Therefore, he's in trance. That is the reason he did not get up. That is a context. So the worship of Lord Shiva is Lord Shiva and worships Lord Vishnu is a pure goodness. Vaishnavanam. But the impersonalists, on the other hand, who follow so-called followers of Lord Shiva, they create so-called Pancha Upasana, which may be in mode of goodness according to them, or they may call it as, but it is not goodness. Again, one has to take birth, one has to appear, and if it is Mayavadi, then they go to the darkest region of ignorance. So, Prabhupada, in conclusion, the different qualities of the material modes of nature can be purified through association with persons who are of transcendental nature. So again and again, Prabhupada is telling those who have faith, if you want the lift, the shortcut is that they somehow or other come in touch with the pure devotee. Therefore, it's very important for us also where we are. We are not at the level of Shuddha Bhakti. We are struggling. We are even struggling sadhakas. Unless otherwise we don't come in contact with Shuddha Bhaktas and try to hear them, don't try to hear Prabhupada, don't try to read Prabhupada books. If we are not very conscious, if we are not very, very, very fired up in terms of, we are not चलता है चलो आज उठ गए माला कर लिए थोड़ा सो गए थोड़ा उठ गए ढीला डाला नहीं चलेगा if you do ढीला डाला that means we are in modes and the modes the ढीला डाला thing is comes out of the modes of ignorance and passion we have to our line should be like a line on a rock we have to take example from Dhruv Maharaj don't take example from Prahlad Maharaj that kind of bhakti we need to make it up in this life if we are not determined then we have to take association of those people who are determined, that are purposely, who are in transcendental nature. Ashastra vihitam goram tapyante ye tapojana tambahankara samyukta kamaraga balanvita karshayanta sharirastam bhutagramam achetasa mam chaivanta sharirastam tanviddi asuram nishchayan. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish, who torture the material elements of the body as well as the pursuit dwelling within, are to be known as demons, like the austerity of Vrakasura. He is cutting his own lap and offering the oblations to Lord Shiva. Or Ravana cutting his own head and offering oblations to Lord Shiva. All these things are mentioned in the shloka. These austerities who torture super soul are to be known as austerities of demons. See the way demons do the austerities. Vrukasura, Ravana, and Ashutosh comes. Lord Shiva, who is a Adipati of mode of ignorance, comes them to say, Baba, you people are hurting yourself. Please don't do it. Out of compassion for your body, the way of torturing super soul, I have come to stop so that don't torture super soul. Imagine super soul is neutral. The super soul gets tortured by their dwelling with him. They trouble him by their austerities. Can you imagine? How can super soul be tortured? He is like neutral. But by the austerities, super soul get tortured. So that the super soul becomes so tortured. Lord Shiva appears there and tells them, Baba, don't do this. Tell me what you want. We want this toy. We want this mukti. We want this thing. We want this sastra. We want this shakti and all those things. That is a toy basically. Someone can do this purport.
There are persons who manufacture mode of asterisk and penance which are not mentioned in the scripture injunction. For instance, asking for some ulterior purpose, such as to promote a purely political end. It is not mentioned in the scripture direction. The scripture,
like Satyagraha done by Gandhi. Right now, Jantar Mantar thing is going on by some particular people. Who everywhere, everybody's doing that only fasting. People for political agenda, anything. All this comes in ignorance. Yes, demonic mentality. Yeah.
the scripture recommend fasting for the spiritual advancement, not for some political end or social purpose. Person who take to such austerity are, according to Bhagavad Gita, certainly demonic. Their
Yeah.
their act are against the scriptural scripture injection and are not beneficial for the people in general. Actually, they act out of pride, false ego, lust, and attachment for the material enjoyment. But such activities not only in the combination of material element of which the body is the constructed disturbed, but also the spiritual personality of Godhead Himself living within the body. Such unauthorized fasting or austerity for some political end are certainly very disturbing to others. They are not mentioned in the Vedic literature. A demonic person may think that he can force his enemy or other parties to compile with his desire by this method, but sometimes one dies by such fasting. These acts are not proved by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he says that those who engage in them are demons. Such demonstrations are the insult of the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they are enacted in disobedience to the Vedic scripture injunction. The word atasaha is
Achetasa.
asetasa
Achetasa. Chet. Achetasa.
achetasa is significant in this connection. Person of normal mental condition must obey the scripture injunction. Those who are not in such a position neglect and disobey the scripture and manufacture their own way of austerity and penances. One should always remember the ultimate end of the demonic people and described in the previous chapter. The Lord forced them to take birth in the womb of the demonic person. Consequently, they will live by demonic principle life and after life without knowing their relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. If, however, थोड़ा सा ऊपर ले, such person are the
Fortunate to be guided by
to be
master.
guided by the spiritual master who can direct them to the path of the Vedic wisdom. They can get out of this entanglement and ultimately achieve the supreme goal.
So therefore, people who are in mode of passion, I'll not speak about asuras. I'll use the word people who are in predominantly in mode of passion and ignorance. When the good fortune arises, like in all of our case, so it's a good fortune. We came in touch with Prabhupada books, we came in touch with devotees, ISKCON devotees, and we started practicing bhakti. So then they can get out. Then there's a hope of getting out of the entanglement and ultimately achieve supreme goal. But just because we have come to ISKCON doesn't mean that we'll go back to God. We should not become like that rabbit who's running. Oh, Tota is very far, let me take a nap. 3-4 lives will get over. We have come to ISKCON, we have come to Krishna Bhakti, we have to practice Ridavrata Bhakti. We don't have to practice Diladala Bhakti. We don't have to get, succumbed by the modes. We should do that. Otherwise, what will happen? Just guy coming a tag of ISKCON, waiting Tilak, Nitai Milena, man. On the whole body, one can apply Tilak, but still one will not get anyone. Because just by applying Tilak and Vibhuti, one doesn't become pure devotee. It's a Vaishnava fry. Yes. Arastva api sarvasya trivido bhavati priya yajnastapastata danam tesham vedam imam shunu. Even the food each person prefers is of three kinds, according to three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifices, austerity, and charity. So, after speaking about the faith, religious faith, Krishna is now coming to the food, Krishna is now coming to the sacrifices, yajna, Krishna is now coming to tapa, Krishna is now coming to dana. Dhan. Ahara, yajna, tapa, dhana. So these are also in three modes. Someone can read quickly.
Prabhupada. In terms of different situations in the modes of material nature, there are differences in the manner of eating and performing sacrifices, austerities, and charities. They are not all conducted on the same level. Those who can understand analytically what kind of performances are in what modes of material nature are actually wise. Those who consider all kinds of sacrifices or food or charity to be the same cannot discriminate, and they are fools. There are missionary workers who advocate that one can do whatever he likes and attain perfection. But these foolish guides are not acting according to the direction of the scripture. They are manufacturing ways and misleading the people in general.
But his foolish guides are not acting according to the direction of scripture. They are manufacturing ways of and misleading the people in general. So according basically, Jaisa Sang Vaisa Rang are based on one's consciousness and attracts people. Similarly, based on consciousness, one eats. If you have seen, you can just see. Just have this observance: how people dress, how people speak, how people eat, how people drink, how people sleep. Based on particular modes, one's body reacts. So that is how. Therefore, all these things, tapasya. So therefore, people are, when we are in conditional stage, we cannot be one mold because variety is the mother of enjoyment. But the whole thing is will be tended with the modes. But yes, but we should stick to the path of bhakti so that we will rise above the modes. And for that, we need guidance of Vaishnavas. We should have someone in life whom we trust fully. And if we can get such a mature Vaishnava in our life, we are very fortunate soon. Then bhakti becomes so easy. Cut. Ayu sattva bala arogya, shuka priti vivardhana, rashya snigdha stira hridya, ahara satvika priya. So the food in mode of goodness, Krishna is saying now. What is that? Ayu, sattva, bala, arogya. The lifespan, it brings you to goodness. Sattva Shuddhi, that means the mind becomes purified. Bala, you get strength. Arogya gets health. Sukha, you get happiness. You get love, priti. Vivardhanaha, it produces Rashya, Snigdha, Stira, Radha. It has rasa, it's snigdha, it's stira, juicy, fatty, enduring. Hridaya, it is pleasing to the heart. Ahara, Satvika, Priya. Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, sattva, samshuddhi, and give strength, bala, health, arogya, happiness, sukha, satisfaction, priya, and then juicy, rasa, fatty, stira, snigdha. Snigdha means like sticky, greasy, and then there is stira, enduring, rida, pleasing to the heart, ahara, satvika, pleasing to the heart. These are the food. These are symptoms of the people who are in goodness. What kind of food they like? It's not that food in goodness. Those people who are in goodness, what kind of food they like? This kind of food like. That means we have to be very much conscious of what we eat. Prabhupada writes in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter. Now the verses purport somewhere after 40. You can go and read it for yourself. 1.3.40 to 45 in that 43, 44, 45, 46, one of the places. One cannot be pure in habits. One cannot be absorbed. One can see pages, one can see Krishna on the pages of Bhagavatam, provided one should be purified in one's mind. But how can one be purified in one's mind and heart? When one gets purified in one's habits. How can one become purified in one's habits? One can become purified in one's eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So here is what Nectar of Instruction speaks about the shortcut. This is a shortcut. What is that? Vacha vego, manasa krodha vego, jiva vego, udrupastha vego. So the root cause is the tongue. If one can control the tongue. What is the meaning of controlling tongue? Controlling tongue doesn't mean fasting. Controlling tongue means according to one's kapha, vata, pitta, understanding which food I should eat, which food I should not eat. For example, many youths, like we don't have this science of what to eat, what not to eat. What happens most of the time? Somebody is having pitta prakriti too much. Somebody has a vata, somebody has kapha, whatever it is. So when somebody eats some particular type of seed, if Pitta Prakriti person is there and eats sweet, his Pitta will increase. What it will do? It will produce a lot of semen. And what will have nightfall? If somebody has a Kapha Prakriti and he eats milk sweet at the night, what will happen? You'll get more of Kapha. That Kapha is heat. Therefore, he may have either he may have cold, he may have a lot of mucus, because of which he may not be able to get up, or because of that kappa has to be get, because the heat will produce, that will also have, based on that the hormone changes in the body will come. So many times what happens is, many of these devotees, when they start practicing bhakti, they have this thing, they hear on one hand you have to control senses, your path of perfection, power of yoga, and there's Prabhupada books on yoga, perfection of yoga, and all those things. And Prabhupada speaks there, sense control. The yoga begins with sense control. What is the meaning of controlling one's tongue? So when you control, when you select what is favorable for my health, what is not favorable for my health. So like somebody may become very angry. The reason for that angry might be because he has a particular, pitta prakriti, and he's asked to serve the prasad, and he's serving prasad and he's hungry, and he's conscious, oh, the prasad should not get over, and therefore that triggers the pitta, triggers the anger. Sometimes this conditioned in the conditioned body keeps the score, in the sense that our natures, what kind of body we have, according to that our consciousness changes. So one has to understand, one has to consult some expert and try to understand what kind of diet one should take. That can solve 50% of a problem. Then bhakti, once the body, you understand the nature of your body, then you can select the food you want to eat. Then what will happen? Then we are actually loving ourselves in the terms of, we understand what is good for our body, we take in that. What is not good for our body, we don't take it. Don't take it. Because if you take in the name of taste, you take anything. I'm not telling don't take tasty food. Take tasty food, take nourishing food. But what is good for your body? What will keep your body healthy? What will keep your body energetic? And what will support the sadhana? So it's not that anything you eat will make you will experience nightfall. There's some good healthy food which we eat that will nourish our body, that will nourish our consciousness, and that kind of food is this food, mode of goodness food. Symptoms are given here, so you can check a list, make a task of this. So much is information is available online. There's so many Ayurvedic doctors available. Consult someone, find out which is favorable for your health, try to do that, and see how your life goes on, how your chanting goes on, how your reading goes on. You can sit and chant, you can sit at one place and read. To some extent, whatever, wherever you are, you can improve a lot. But when life is topsy-turvy, we are eating at any time, we are sleeping at any time, we are not conscious. When you go to company, we work like heavy, and when you want to come back and run for follow-up, when you want to go for book distribution, we compromise sleeping time, eating time, we don't eat, we just run, we just blah 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 and run away without thinking. And what will happen next? That will come in the next. Katva amla lavana tushna tikshna ruksha vidahina ahara rajaseyasta dukkha sauka mayo prada. So therefore, if you have the symptom, dukkha shoka maya prada, if you are sad, if you are always lamenting or always hankering, that means we are eating food in mode of passion, or we are in passion and our eating habits with passion, because of which we are disturbed. So this is so relevant to our practice. Many times we beat people in the name of spirituality. Oh, you are not practicing spirituality very seriously, you are not pure devotee, that is the reason you are suffering. No, that might be one of the reasons. Who can practice pure devotee? Who is pure devotee so easily? Unless you have done something from the last life, how can you practice pure devotion in this life so easily? One has to work on one's eating habits. That is why I speak about vacho vegam, manasu krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udara upastha vegam. You control the jiva, then udara, then upastha, then we can control on vacha, then krodha, then manasa. So now see what people who eat food in like passion. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, burning are dear to those in mode of passion. What happens? It goes, the kapha vata pitta balance will get lost. What will happen? The bloating in the stomach, or you'll get cough, or you'll get pitta increase, or water increase, there'll be pains in the bones. Anything below your belly, like bones issues, that is because of vata. Anything in between your waist to the chest. The stomach issue is because of pitta. Anything above the chest, it's because of kapha. Therefore, according to that, the skin problems come because of this pitta imbalance. The vata, the pain, body pains come because of vata imbalance. The cold, cough, probably not able to get up in the morning from cough because of kapha imbalance. So choose your food. If you choose your food, you can stay healthy. And if you stay healthy, it becomes so favorable for practice of bhakti. And when bhakti body is like body is optimum. See how much joy you'll understand what joy of devotion. You don't want to become a pure devotee to experience the joy of devotion. Just eat right food at right time and maintain healthy habits. You see how right now the bhakti which you are doing right now, beings of bhakti, becomes so joyful. And such joyful bhakti, if you keep on doing, that will give you confidence by which we can become. That will give you hope for what will happen when we become pure devotees. Yatayamam gata rasham puti prayushchitam chayat uchishtam apicha medyam bhojanam tamasa priyam. Now, Tamogana food is mentioned here. Like you've seen in big houses, you've seen some families of different culture. What they do, some other culture, I don't tell the name of religion, but you'll just understand. They'll put a big blanket, they'll bring all the vessels, they'll sit around it, there'll be bones, there'll be flesh, and one will eat one table, will take one vessel and eat the bone and then keep it. Another person will pick up that and same they'll put hand in same vessel and all the bone pieces will put in one place and wind it up and as if they are very sophisticated. Basically each one without washing hands is serving and eating and touching and everything and they're eating uchishtam avicham nidyam yata yamam gatar rasam. Food cooked 3 hours before being eaten. That means the food has become old. Prabhupada will speak on the purport. This doesn't apply to prasadam. Prasad, because prasad once you cook, immediately offered within half an hour to Krishna and Krishna's saliva is touched to it. Prasad doesn't apply to prasadam. It applies to that which is not prasadam. Food cooked 3 hours before and tasteless when food is cooked 3 hours before and sometimes kept. Sometimes it gets contaminated. Sometimes bad spelling. Sometimes the foam comes of the dal and other things and some liquid. Sometimes the sweet when you stick when you break a balusha or bhaji and you pull it, the sticky line appears. That means it's fermented. That is gone. So food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that's tasteless, decomposed, and putrid. Putrid means like string. It's like khatta. And food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. Somebody has eaten the food and kept it, and you go and eat. That's like ignorance, unless he's a pure devotee. So Mahaprasad and especially pure devotee, if they have it's Mahaprasad and it's pure devotee, like Tulsi is offered, Tulsi cannot be contaminated. Mahaprasad, somebody can eat it, one can eat it based on Shraddha if one has that faith. Or if pure devotee has eaten some prasad and we take it, that is not contaminated because it is pure goodness. That is like he's pure devotee and therefore when we take that, we get that quality. Somebody can read this purport.
The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life, purity, the mind, and aid bodily strength. This is
No, wait. Come to goodness, Baba. Grounded. The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life.
yes, Prajit. The purpose of
Purify.
food. Am I audible, Prajit?
Read.
Yes, sir.
Slowly. Come to the line. Don't
Okay.
assume the words.
Yes, Prajit. The purpose of food is to increase the duration of life,
Ayu.
purify the
Purify the
mind,
uh,
and aid bodily strength.
Bala, Mana, Sattva, and Ayu. Ayu, Sattva, Bala. That was there in the first previous two verses there. Continue. This is only purpose.
This is its only purpose. In the past, great authorities selected those foods that best aid health and increase life duration, such as milk products, sugar, rice, wheat, fruits, and vegetables. These foods are very dear to those in mode of goodness. Some other foods, such as baked corn and molasses, while not very palatable in themselves, can be made pleasant when mixed with milk or other foods. They are in the mode of goodness. All these foods are pure by nature. They are quite distinct from untouchable things like meat and liquor. Fatty foods as mentioned in the 8th verse, have no connection with animal fat obtained by slaughter. Animal fat is available in the form of milk, which is the most wonderful of all foods. Milk, butter, cheese, and similar products give animal fat in a form which rules out any need for killing of innocent creatures. It is only through brood mentality that this killing goes on. The civilized method of obtaining needed fat is by milk. Slaughter is the way of subhumans. Protein is amply available through split peas, dal, whole wheat, etc. Food is food in the mode of passion, which are bitter, too salty, or too hot, or overly mixed with red pepper, cause misery by reducing the mucus in the stomach, leading to disease. Foods in the mode of ignorance or darkness are essentially those are not fresh. Any food cooked more than 3 hours before it is eaten, except prasadam, food offered to the Lord, is considered to be in the mode of darkness because they're decomposing. Such foods give a bad odor, which often attracts people in mode but repulses those in the mode of goodness. Remnants of food may be eaten only when they are part of meal that was first offered to Supreme Lord or first eaten by saintly persons, especially the spiritual master. Otherwise, the remnants of food are considered to be in a mode of darkness.
This is the Uchishta means somebody has eaten and left. So Lord's plate or spiritual master's plate you can take, not anybody else. Yes.
Uh, are neither liked or even touched by those in mode of goodness. The best food is the remnants of what is offered to Supreme Person of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord says that he accepts preparations of vegetables, flour, and milk when offered with devotion. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Of course, devotion and love are chief things which Supreme Person of God accepts, but it is also mentioned that the prasadam should be prepared in a particular way. Any food prepared by injections of scriptures and offered to the Supreme Person of Godhead can be taken even if prepared long, long ago, because such food is transcendental. Therefore, to make food antiseptic, eatable, and palatable for all persons, one should offer food to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes. So any questions? We have finished 10 verses. So basically, at our stage, we have to take it very, very seriously. If you really want to improve chanting, if you want to sleep less, yukta ahara viharyasya. The root cause is eating. And we have to be very choosy because this can affect our bodily hormone secretion, especially as youths when the age is 20-25. The hormonal secretion at peak. If you take any food which is triggering pitta, surely that will cause to nightfall and other things. So we don't have to beat ourselves telling that we are so lusty or we are so fallen or other things. That will again, what will happen is that one goes into the cycle of depression again and again. Solution is very simple. Eat healthy, think better. This is the motto of one of the biscuit company, but this is what it is actually. If we can eat healthy, we can think better. Ahara Shuddha, Sattva Shuddhi. Therefore, one has to eat in goodness. A lot of things in goodness. Creepers. Whichever subjects are there in creepers, they are in goodness. Whichever is born of the plants, they are in passion. Whichever is born underground, they are in ignorance. Simple. But yeah, something like creepers, pumpkin comes, cucumber comes. All these are in goodness. Like carrot, beet, they are generally passion. Bendy. So you can select like that. And if you are convinced that is what even Radhesham suggests, we should eat food in goodness. We can make a menu in such a way that our sabjis, our whole rice, dal, moong dal, everything is in goodness. And most of the brahmacharis who are there, they know all these things. But still I'm suggesting. This just as a part of the conclusion. We have read all these things, so we can make a list of food in goodness, food in passion, food in ignorance. And you can try to find out what suits your body. In voice scenario, we may not have that much freedom to choose. In temples, it's not much. Only after 40, 45 years, one has health issues, one goes. But why we have to wait till that time? Why not start working on it right now? Fruits, grains, cereals, pulses. If we can have our food with fiber, if we have our food with fruits, which will can with vitamins, proteins, the bones can be nourished, the cravings can be decreased. Most of the time, we have the cravings for sweet, sweet, sweet. That craving for sweet is coming when the sugar content of the fruits we don't take in. We need some sugar, fructose. When it doesn't come, when we don't get it from there, like when you don't drink water, you feel thirsty. So when we don't give particular minerals, vitamins to the body, it gets it from somewhere, either natural or artificial. Then we go for sweets. Then the tongue clamors for that. So it's all very much, this has a psychosomatic effect on the body. So it's not a habit, it's all the body needs it. So if you don't give it in a right way from goodness, food, it will take it from passionate food, it will take it from ignorant food. So, and then you can take the content from the goodness food, you can see how blissful you are. You'll float in air. Your sleep will reduce in terms of the needs, particular needed sleep. You can be very nourished in chanting. You can be nourished in reading Prabhupada books and see how your mind works, how confident you become, and how proactive you become. Okay, so this was regarding to discussion, and this is at our level. You have to work on this because we are in a bodily consciousness of life. If we don't work on this consciousness, forget about Krishna consciousness. Why? Because most of the time I see people eat heavy in the morning, then next thing is they put chata and they take rest. By the time half an hour, it's like Saturday, Sundays. And by the time it is done, it's like lunch comes again, they take again rest. I was in a place when we were in working phase, it's like Monday to Friday used to work like anything. And Saturday, Sunday we had to go to preaching. Those people who used not to go for preaching, they will eat morning breakfast, they'll sleep for 2 hours. Then they'll eat lunch and they'll sleep for 4 hours. Then after that they'll take dinner and they'll sleep for 6 hours, like 2, 4, 6. The whole quota of the day. And what happens? So much sleeping will increase pitta, so much eating will increase pitta. Surely what will happen? How one can follow brahmachari? One cannot follow. One is a nightfall. How when once one starts having nightfall, what is the question of accepting brahmachari ashram? Are you even accepting a grasa brahmachari? So once drada, vrata, once vivekata, once uh, one pointed focus to make decisions that get disturbed. Then what happens in life? The disturbed person, what decisions he can make? So this is a very important vital part. Choosing what we eat. That is how we can really practice bhakti. That is called as Swarthagatimi Vishnu. You have to become Swarthi in this regard on what to eat. Okay? So take it very seriously and this apply it and see how it works. Thank you. Hare Krishna. If you don't have any questions, we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki. So we'll meet down next Wednesday or next Tuesday. We have a lot of classes coming up. Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll try to